Making friends with fractions. Comparing fractions with like denominators. Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to explore an essential aspect of numbers in English: fractions. More specifically, we'll be focusing on comparing fractions with like denominators. By the end of this video, you'll feel confident comparing and discussing fractions in English. Let's start at the beginning. A fraction is a way to express a part of a whole. In English, fractions have two parts: the numerator, which is the number on the top, and the denominator, which is the number on the bottom. For example, in the fraction 3/4, 3 is the numerator and 4 is the denominator. This tells us that we're talking about 3 parts of a total of 4 parts. Now that we understand the basics of fractions, let's dive into today's topic: comparing fractions with like denominators. Like denominators means that the denominators, or the numbers on the bottom of the fractions we're comparing, are the same. For example, if we have two fractions, 2/7 and 5/7, we can say they have like denominators because the denominator in both fractions is 7. When you're comparing fractions with like denominators, remember this: the fraction with the larger numerator is the larger fraction. Let's go back to our example of 2/7 and 5/7. In this case, 5/7 is larger than 2/7 because 5, the numerator in 5/7, is larger than 2, the numerator in 2/7. The reason this works is because both fractions represent parts of the same whole. With the same denominator, a larger numerator means you have more of that whole. Let's try another example together. If we have the fractions 3/8 and 5/8, which one is larger? If you said 5/8, you're correct. Even though they both represent parts of the same total, represented by the denominator 8, 5/8 represents more parts of that total than 3/8. This is how you compare fractions with like denominators in English. Well done, everyone! You've just learned how to compare fractions with like denominators in English. Remember, fractions represent parts of a whole, and when you're comparing fractions with the same denominator, the fraction with the larger numerator is the larger fraction. Keep practicing, and soon, you'll be a pro at comparing fractions in English. As always, thanks for joining me today, and happy learning!